Good morning, dear students, and welcome back once again to our today's geography session. Today, we are going to continue with our lesson number 9, agriculture. In the last session, that is in the last week, we saw in video 1, part 1, 2 and 3, where we studied about what is agriculture and animal husbandry. I hope you must have read the lesson and you must have gone through your textbook from page number 52 to 54. So as you know that agriculture is a science or a practice of farming, including cultivation of the soil for growing of crops and also the rearing of animals. And this growing crops and rearing of animals, which is the secondary or subsidiary occupations of the farmers, is called as the animal husbandry, where cattle, or you can say different animals which are used in the farms, in the fields, okay, like cattle like cow, bull, ox, buffaloes, or horses, goats, sheep, camels, or birds like hens, duck, emu. These livestock are being used so that it can be used for some production, and also the demand of the milk, egg and other items can be provided in the market. So this is what we studied in the last session, and we started with our lesson of agriculture. So today, without wasting much time, let us proceed ahead with our second part of the lesson. That is, we are going to start with video 2, which will also include part 1, 2 and 3. So in today's topic, we are going to study about different types of farming. Now, my dear children, as you can see on your screen, different types of farming. That is, types of farming is divided into two major categories. One is subsistence farming and the other is commercial farming. Now, why is this two categories of farming required, or why farming is divided into two categories? The reason for this is because there is different type of agricultural practice in different region or various regions. So in India, if you see, only if you see India, in India, climatic condition is or weather condition will not remain the same throughout India. Whether it is North India, whether it is South India, or it is East or West, there will be some differences. So due to climatical changes, secondly, geographical and cultural diversity, changes in geographical, that is, some region, if you go towards the northern India, you have hilly regions over there, like Kashmir and all you have. If you go to northern eastern area, those areas are all hilly region, Assam, Mizoram, Tripura, right? If you come towards the southern India, where you have seashores, the southern part, okay, like Kanyakumari, Madras, and all. So different geographical regions are there, different factors are there, different cultures are there. Not only that, technological differences are also there. In some part of the India, modern technology is in use, but in rural India, still they are following the same traditional methods. So there are different methods of farming also. There are various types of crops also which have been cultivated. One type of crop is not been cultivated in each and every region of India. So taking into consideration all these important points like changes in climatical and weather conditions, geographical and cultural diversity, technological differences, methods of farming, types of crop, and the most important, the land or the type of soil which is found in that region. These two major categories of different types of farming are being divided, that is subsistence farming and commercial farming. So now let us understand more in detail each of this type of farming. We are going to cover first subsistence farming. Subsistence farming is also called as farming which is meant for, say, personal use, and whatever little excess is been left, that can be sold. So subsistence Subsistence farming is a farming which is carried on large scale also, and it is also carried on lower scale also. So let us understand more in detail. Now, as you can see on your screen, subsistence farming is again divided into two types: intensive grain farming and shifting cultivation. Intensive and shifting cultivation, these are old or traditional methods of farming. On the other hand, commercial farming, the word itself tells you commercial means which is carried out for profit gaining or for business purpose, or you can say which is carried out for large scale farming. So in commercial farming, we are going to study four major systems or four types of farming. One is extensive grain, that is extensive means larger area. Extensive grain farming, plantation farming, market gardening and horticulture. Now in this commercial farming, the major two types of farming which are being done are extensive grain farming and plantation farming. Market gardening, floriculture, horticulture, these are the types of farming which are evolved with the change in the time, or which are evolved due to need of time. So let us understand each one of these types of farming. So I hope, my dear children, you are all ready. Please keep your textbooks ready. From textbook lesson 9, we are going to begin from page number 55. So here we go with the first type of farming, and the first section is subsistence farming. In subsistence farming, we are going to cover intensive farming and shifting cultivation. As I said, intensive farming and shifting cultivation, these two are the traditional methods of farming or the old methods of farming. Now, what is intensive farming? Intensive farming is one and the same farm is used for years together. That is, the farmer uses a plot of land, one plot of land for growing one crop or multiple crop, but for one and other, that is for years together. He will not change that farm. Whereas shifting cultivation is every year a new area is being chosen for cultivation, that is growing of crops or for growing food grains, and at a specific period of time. So the older area is being reused again and again, but after a specific period of time. That is called as shifting. Areas which have been shifted, okay, shuffled and shifted. Say A part and B part. So A part is used for this year and B part will be used for the next year. So the A part will be kept like vacant. Again they will come back to the A and again they'll shift to B. So that is called as shifting cultivation. So let us understand more in detail about intensive and shifting. So the first part which we are going to see is intensive grain farming or intensive agriculture. Now what is intensive grain agriculture or intensive farming? Getting maximum production from a minimum area is the characteristic of intensive farming. Maximum production, more production, but from a minimum area. As you can see in the picture, a particular land or particular hectare, say 3 hectares or 5 hectares of land is there, small hectare of land. On that land only production, that is cultivation, is carried out, farming is done, so that you get minimum or maximum output from that, maximum output from minimum land. Now this type of farming is mostly seen in the areas which are developing. Developing means those regions where full development has not taken place. Like in Maharashtra, if you see, there are many areas, there are many villages which are still developing, like Kolhapur, Satara. Okay, if you go towards this area, these areas are not developing. So in such areas, intensive grain farming is carried out on a larger scale. Now what is here? The cultivator, that is the farmer who is there, he will grow the crops for his family use. That is, whatever production he will get, he will keep some of it for the family use, because his family is totally dependent on farming. Family use means not only for their need, but from that cultivation, if he sells it in the market, the money which he gets, that will be used for his family. So he will keep it for his family use, and if he gets something excess, then he can save that excess also for the other purpose. So here the cultivator, that is the farmer, and his family is totally dependent on farming. If there is no farming, then the poor farmer will get no money, or he will get no earnings for feeding his family. So on his family, or on the intensive farming, the farmer's family is dependent. The next is, as the farm production is low, the economic conditions of the cultivator is also poor, because on smaller area of land they are trying to produce maximum. So as the production is also low, so the economical condition, financial condition of the farmer is also very poor. And which type of crops are being grown in intensive agriculture? Cereals, vegetable, that is pulses, you can say, all types of different types of dals, moong dal, tur dal, okay, even sometimes rice is there, okay, wheat. So cereals are there, pulses are there, vegetables are there. These things are grown on a larger scale in intensive agriculture. Along with that, animate energy is used. Animate energy means, instead of making use of technology and modern methods, animals are being used, animals and manpower is being used in cultivation of intensive grain farming. So intensive farming is the farming which is carried on a smaller scale. I hope you all have understood this. Yes. Moving ahead, know what is shifting cultivation. Now, in shifting cultivation, as the word says, to shift means from one place to another place, and again vice versa. The pictures which you can see on your screen. So, what is shifting cultivation? In shifting cultivation, every year a new area is chosen for cultivation. In this type of cultivation, it is mostly practiced in tropicals or in the hilly areas, or the areas which are densely forested. These areas are used. Mostly shifting cultivation in India is practiced more in Northeast India. Northeast India means where you have Assam, Mizoram, Manipur, right? These are the areas where shifting cultivation is practiced on a larger scale. Now, the cultivator or the farmers who are here, who are in the shifting cultivation, along with shifting cultivation, because it is not carried out throughout the year, they have to wait for one or the other year. So along with this, these people have also started with the other subsidiary occupation like hunting, fishing, gathering of bulbs. Bulbs yani, if you know, you get some roots which you can eat. There are some fruits which are available in the markets. Okay, so these have been taken, honey and all. They gather this so that they can sell this and they can feed their families for their daily needs. Now, in shifting cultivation, in this type of farming, there is a fallow period. Now, what is a fallow period? Fallow period is that period where the land is being left, an area of land is left undercultivated for one season of crop. As I told you, for this season, say for this year, one area of land is cultivated. So for the next year, that area will be left without any cultivation, or you can say in other words, vacant. Nothing will be cultivated on that area, and again in the next year this land will be used. So as you can see the picture, how shifting cultivation is been done, like mostly tropical or hilly areas or on the hilly tract. So these the young secondary forests which are there, okay, old forest, these have been cut down, either they are been burned or they have been slashed. So in many parts of the world, shifting cultivation is also called as swidden or slash, or it is also called as burn cultivation, because the land which is there, they set fire to that area, so the trees get burned, then that land is been cleared off, and then crops are been cultivated, and then there is a period, that is a fallow period. Fallow land means for one particular crop season, that land is kept vacant, no crops is grown on that. So shifting cultivation usually start with cutting trees and a fire which clear the spot for crops production. I hope you all are clear till here. If right, please read your textbook page number 55 to know more about shifting cultivation. We will continue with our part 2. So stay